Halifax Health is a safety net hospital for the state of Florida. What that means is that we're going to take care of you till you can actually walk out. It's not to triage and send you to another hospital.
Here at Halifax, we see about 85,000 to 90,000 patient visits a year. Not only do we have a very large emergency department and see a lot of patients, but the population that we see is quite sick. Those critical care patients are the most likely to have a poor outcome, and so the communication for those people really matters.
The main methods that we would communicate with were either pagers if we needed to talk to a physician, and in our ED we used overhead paging for everything. Or we would yell down the hall to find somebody, and that could become very difficult.
When we had nursing calls, they would call the unit clerk, who would then call the call center, who would then call us, and it could be 5 or 15 minutes just for the call to get to us. And then by the time we responded, by that time it could have taken an hour.
We needed a communication infrastructure in our ED that was complete, and so we chose Vocera as a solution for that. Through the use of Vocera, if you want to talk to somebody, you just tap your badge and find them, and you have your conversation.
Hello, Andrea.
Hi, Gail.
Can you tell me how many Foleys you have and how many central lines you have?
I have 0 central lines and 1 Foley, and that'll be in 1628, who's going to the OR today.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, bye.
We broadcast everything over the Vocera badges, so it totally removes that overhead paging and actually provides more of like a calming, relaxing environment.
Thank you. To our patients, Vocera means timely response to their needs. We want them to get better, and for them to see the communication happen in real time helps them to know that that's our goal.
When I am in a critical patient resuscitation room, not having to leave that patient bedside and be able to just concentrate on resuscitating the patient as opposed to leaving to make phone calls is really helpful.
It improved communication greatly. Before we knew it, all of our clinical units were using Vocera, and so now we had this very large communication network that was, again, hands-free. Then we started looking at secure texting.
When we were looking for secure texting, we were looking specifically to get a solution that the physicians could use. We were looking for encrypted texts, we were looking for HIPAA compliance, which Vocera was able to help us with all of that.
The application was not a lot different than using a normal text messaging application that all of us know how to use. But it provided the ability to transition that text conversation into voice, and that's what really makes people go, oh wow, this is really cool. It streamlines their workflow day to day.
We've also taken it further. A patient being septic is a very big deal in hospitals today, and when it comes to sepsis, the timing is everything. And so we can actually start sending alerts out of our EHR, sends them up to the cloud, and the system determines if the patient could be mild, moderately, or severely septic. And as soon as that engine figures that out, it sends an alert to specific caregivers.
Urgent message. Sepsis alert. Room 1401.
They also talked about a rounding tool. Rounding on paper is not efficient at all. The app that we looked at from Vocera actually captures the data on your screen so that when you make a call back to them 28 to 48 hours after their discharge, the information is there in a much quicker pace than we ever had before. Vocera helps to move us into a different realm of communication. We have to be careful that we don't just focus on the tool and that we forget about the caring part of it, and that's why, to me, as a director of nursing, that was a very pivotal decision in selecting the Vocera product.
I became a nurse to give back to the community. I'm able to use Vocera in order to find the answers quickly, give the information to the patients, and have them ready to go home. I love it. I do. It really makes a difference.